Welcome back to Whiteboard Wednesday. My name is Mike Cromwell.
I'm Brian DeVault.
How many times are they getting hit on an average month?
It just kind of depends on what the exposure to the internet is. So we have a server that we leave online that's on the internet. We call it a honeypot, but we just leave it essentially wide open on the internet just to see what threat vectors are out there and what's happening. It's not part of any of our network or anything like that. And we don't let it get compromised, but it's a good piece of threat intelligence for us, because as we're executing our cybersecurity program for customers, we need to know what's out there.
What kind of activity does a honeypot see?
Oh, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Gigabytes per day of attack.
Gigabytes
attempts.
per day.
Just a Windows server sitting on the internet. So the amount of threats coming inbound from the internet is not even measurable.
Where do you start on this front if you don't have a good posture? And what is good, what's the path to good?
So you definitely want to make sure you have endpoint protection in place. Microsoft offers Defender that comes natively with Windows OSs. That's not good enough. You need a third party on top of it. Patching is where I would put way high on that list, and these two may be equal. But if you're a business and you're not patching your systems and you're not running endpoint protection, you represent a high risk.
If you're watching this and you're concerned that you don't have the right posture here, or you're far down on that scale, what are the steps you can take to address that, and how long does it take to get there?
I'd say make sure you have endpoint protection in place, antivirus, third-party antivirus. Go look at the Gartner Magic Quadrant Top 20 and pick one, right? They're all going to be very similar in feature and benefit. Make sure you have a patch schedule and process in place, and make sure that you're following it. So if you're a business decision maker, a CIO, a CTO, go ask your systems administrators how you're managing patching, and ask them how they can report against it to let you know that things have been patched. Talk to them about hardening. What are we doing to harden our systems? Are we using imaging? Are we applying best practices? How do we ensure that happens to every asset when it comes in the door, right? And nothing skips that process. IT departments have a tendency to, if they're in a hurry, if a new employee is starting, rather than pausing to do the security practice they need, they'll just get it out the door, right? Just trying to satisfy the end user. It's not acceptable. You can't do it. Get a cybersecurity platform in place and use an agent, right? Again, get that preventative mentality in your head around this posture and what you're trying to do, and then use host-based intrusion detection where possible.
Excellent. And if you're a business and you don't necessarily have the skills in place to manage this, and you're looking to entrust an MSP that has security practice or an MSSP, what does it look like in that environment?
An MSSP is going to have all these tools ready to go.
Like right out of the gate?
Right out of the gate. You can implement these on day one, which is a huge advantage, and probably another conversation about MSSP versus outsourced SOC.
Conversation for another episode. Well, thanks for tuning in, folks. Great stuff, Brian. Been enlightening thus far. Stay tuned next week. We're going to be digging into cloud on-prem, and then we have 3 more behind that one. So thanks for tuning in. Look forward to talking to you next week.
See you next week.